Namaskar, welcome to our special series of Golden Signatures. Today we have with us a very prominent personality of academic sector, Professor Ramesh K. Goyal, who is Vice Chancellor of Delhi Pharmaceutical Science and Research University, and this is the second term for Professor Goyal, who has got this opportunity to head this great institution. So my first question to you, first of all, welcome to our show.
Thank you, sir.
My first question to you would be, being the Vice Chancellor of DPSRU, which is the premier institution of pharmacy in our country and perhaps second or third in the world also, and it has a long legacy since 64 to now it has been developed. So how do you summarize and how do you see the legacy of this great institution?
Okay. As per, this is a pharmacy institution. So in 1948, the Pharmacy Council of India was formed. And the purpose of Pharmacy Council of India was to see that the practice of pharmacy is regulated by the qualified people. In those days, there used to be chemists, and based on the experiences, the licenses were given. Now in 1948, when this Pharmacy Council of India came, it was mandated that there has to be qualified pharmacist, which means a diploma pharmacy holder. However, that rule could not be implemented in toto till 1982. However, like the Polytechnic of Delhi, it started here as the diploma course in pharmacy.
Okay.
Likewise, of course, before that, the first was in 1932 at Banaras Hindu University, followed by Madras Medical College, followed by the Punjab University and Sagar. But this was among the first. After Punjab University, it became the first one. After that, in the north region. In 1964, although it started with diploma, in 1972, it got converted into degree also. Degree courses were introduced, diploma continued, and it was moved to the Pusa campus, and then 1979 to the current campus, and the postgraduate courses were added. And then in 2004, considering the significance, it was upgraded to an institute. So Delhi Institute of Pharmaceutical Science and Research, DIPSAR, that was the thing. Even all around in the surrounding area, like bus stand was also labeled as the DIPSAR. So this is what has happened.
DIPSAR is still continuing?
No, DIPSAR, that continues. Now it is a constituent college of the university. So in 2008 the act was passed, 2015 it got enacted, and from 2015 we started journey. At that time there were around 400 students. Added with the university another 200, but today we have 2,000 plus students on campus.
And we are in the world's?
We are the first university in India and third in the world as far as the pharmacy university is concerned. And from merely 2 PG, 1 UG, 1 diploma and few PG courses, we have around 30 courses now.
Full-fledged courses.
Yes.
So it has a long legacy, I can see, and I will come back to discuss about the DPRSU's other activities and achievements. But before that, let me introduce my co-host and anchor, Professor Dr. Jyotsna Pandit also. So, and now I would like to ask a separate question which relates directly to you, because you have a long experience in this field of 43 years of academic. I'll have to read, including 25 years as professor, served as PhD guide in 8 universities, guided 182, maybe more than that, M.Pharma and 44 PhD students, over 700 publications, 19 books, 32 book chapters, and 76 awards in research at a state, national and international level. So it has a, full of achievements. You have also been a distinguished visiting professor in Malaysia and Russia. And from a professor in Ahmedabad, You become Vice Chancellor to a prestigious University of Baroda, MS University, and now you are second term serving this. How do you look back your own journey, and how do you summarize that?
Okay. Well, I will rather go back from my school time when I was in Rajasthan. I was in the up to 6th standard. I had that. Now in 6th standard, I was of course topper. I didn't know even that because I was a child. But today, when I saw that building a couple of years ago, I decided to do something. And in that area, I have, with my donation and one round table an NGO, we have built a new school. So I feel fortunate that whatever I got in the education, I am trying to pay back to the society. The school, Central School, Baroda, by virtue of becoming Vice Chancellor at MSU, I became chairman of that school.
Wonderful.
So this is another, I don't know how much God has blessed me. And then I got UG and PG degrees from MS University of Baroda, and I went there as the Vice Chancellor. I think God cannot be more kind than this, like this. So if I see that way journey, it was wonderful. Becoming Vice Chancellor was never my dream, and even today, I relish academics and research, honestly. Although, but I am not
when
sure.
you talk about the research, I can see that you have filed 8 patents also. Out of these 8, 3 have been awarded. So, you would like to ask any question if you...
Okay.
So please tell us in brief about your 8 patents.
8 patents,
You
okay.
have filed 8 patents and 3 have been awarded.
Okay, 3 and now 4th is also almost in the state of being awarded. The PCT will be awarded.
So, on
to
what
the,
particular...
Okay, see, I started the patent filing with the herbal drug formulation.
Okay.
There was one anti-diabetic drug for which we filed a patent. And normally what happens many times is scientists work with the 10, 15 or 100 of plants. Here I have worked with few plants but taken up to the end, reaching to the molecular level. So that formulation patent and isolating the active compound was the first patent which I got. Although it did not fetch the tech transfer, but yes, as an academic I felt it is a good, I got some patent. Later on with the ginger, so that was another patent. With the ginger, again isolated the compound,
Okay.
and that gingerol was the compound isolated, and gingerol is again, I could correlate molecular mechanism. I was happy when I saw in Australia somebody has taken that as a lead paper and tried to work further. Then was the patent on the, like, what happens, our insulin is bind with the zinc in the body, zinc insulin. When I was a postdoc fellow in Vancouver, Canada, we worked on chromium, and it was something like that insulin substitute will be probably the vanadium at that time. But vanadium is a very toxic element. It cannot be used, trace element. So we found chromium. And that chromium, we could club it, we could tag it with the insulin, and it was a formulation. So that formulation development, again we got another patent for that. Now, although this chromium insulin has not been taken up by industry, but I was really elated in 2003 when one US company called me that we want you to make a presentation on the chromium itself, because they feel that chromium is an important element and your results are very much matching to us.
Wonderful.
So this way the passion continues, and currently I will say more on the herbal side, having some patents in
So
that.
I would like to ask a supplementary question about the diabetic things you said.
Yes.
Has that been commercialized? Has that...
See, the company which supported for that formulation, they used to say that previously they were hardly selling 1 kg per month, and now they reached to 100 or 10 also after that. They were also part of that patent. But yes, you cannot say, Now the patent means you should go in the millions or
That
something.
could be the part of the Prime Minister's Janaushadhi something if you...
Yeah, in the
First
Ayush
that.
program,
the
for
Ayush
sure,
program.
yes. It is a definitely something. See, Ayush, it is the vision of our Prime Minister.
Okay.
Our Prime Minister, I feel, even in 2008, he gave me the task of choice-based credit system and a sort of a education policy for government of Gujarat, based on which Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat was also formed and all that. I was part of it at that time.
Yes.
And I could see his passion, but probably I got entangled in my MSU problems and I could not really deliver what he was looking for it. But I am happy that based on that the new policy has come. Now similarly Ayush, there are certain problems of Ayush also. So we cannot be simple traditional. It has to be correlated with the modern medicine. What I say that at that time there was a classical example. I told that I am isolating this compound. आप तो बिरादी के बाहर हो. What do you mean कि isolation of compound mean you have gone to the modern science? No, that's not correct. You have to be sticking to Ayurveda only. I said, sir, this I used to tell to the public that this is to standardize. These marker compounds are to standardize, and that's how. In those days, 2002, if you see my research project submitted and sanctioned by DST, activity guided fractionation and bioassay guided. And that terminology I am seeing when I am the member of the DST committee, practically every project has that word. So, although it is a hidden thing, but it was a truth. And it can be shared.
This is very much relevant.
This is relevant.
Yes.
So Ayush, if we want to take to next level, this is required.
I think DPRSU should officially write a letter to the ministry and the government Prime Minister about this, that this should be incorporated in Ayush. If that is done, because you are heading a great pharmaceutical university.
Well, Ayush has started doing many things now in this line also. We are not officially part of it, but we have signed MOU with All India Institute of Ayurveda.
Okay.
And together, we are in last 6 months only, we are now discussing how to take it further. Although we got one good drug for COVID, but it is pending.
I will come back to that COVID question, but before that, I would like to ask a question about this institution, DPRSU, which was created with a clear vision to be the ultimate destination for education, training, and research in pharmaceuticals. So, what have been your institution's major achievements so far?
Okay. See, that way it is only 6 years now.
Now, after becoming university.
Becoming university. And
you are the founder, vice chancellor?
No, I cannot say founder. There was a interim vice chancellor also, Professor S.S. Agrawal. And I am the next
regular?
One. No, regular I am the first one.
Okay.
So that way I can be called as the first vice chancellor, regular vice chancellor. Well, leave aside that part, but the important part is, in this 5 years, the first thing was to have initiated the measures which will give a sound foundation. So that included first to come out with the proper statutes and ordinances which will give a support to any investigator. This was one thing. Then appointing the faculties, that was another thing, so at that time when I joined, I was the lone authorized regular professor. Now we have 14 full professors, professor level, and total 50 regular faculty now.
Great.
So that is one part. Second thing, then when you call, actually this is the probably only university where the word research is there in the name.
Yes.
You will not find. I was not knowing, but one of the UGC chairman told that this is the only university with a research word in their name. Anyway, so now research need good infrastructure and centers of excellence. So we won the Center for Formulation Development, DSIR sponsored grant recently, which has been there, and we are expected to support 100 MSMEs, which we will do. Second was with the help of the Delhi government, DKDF, the knowledge consortium they have got, they funded it for the precision medicine center. So pharmacy is not simply chemicals, biotechnology, genomic, that also remains the part of it. So to promote that, and no new drug discovery is possible without solid biotechnology and the latest technology involved. So that is second center which we have already started. And maybe in 6 months' time, you will see all these centers with a vibrant and the proper infrastructure facility also.
Great.
Then incubation and innovation, the startups. So we got, with the help of DBT, Department of Biotechnology, a grant. The incubation foundation we had initially, but we had support of the bioincubator center also. We could have 16 startups. And normally it is expected 5 to 10% success, but our success rate was very high. 6 almost startup exited with some output.
So you are satisfied with the achievements?
No, I'm not satisfied, honestly. I need something like when there is anything related to medical.
Yes.
Everybody rushes to All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi.
That's true.
My dream is, I will say I will be satisfied if similar situation comes for DPSRU, that for any pharmacy solution, DPSRU is looked first rather than other.
So our next question is related to that only.
Okay.
Dr. Jyotsna will be asking.
So the mission of DPSRU also includes catering to the health needs of the people at large.
Yes.
So I would like to ask you, what was your institution's role during COVID-19?
Okay. See, during COVID-19, most of the places, the development of, giving these services to the public in different way, like awareness programs, mask develop. We started preparing the sanitizers. Some of our startup did that. Innovative mask also. Although that mask were developed even 1 year before the COVID came.
I see.
It was for the pollution. So that could be utilized.
That's very important point. You're saying you had developed the mask
Yes.
1 year before the
Before
COVID.
that. But to me, the biggest achievement was to come out with a drug which is a unique, time will tell, but the concept behind this new drug is going to do many things. This drug is awaited, it's a Ayurvedic formulation only, repurposed Ayurvedic formulation. But we have tried to, we were not trying to publicize, we were not in rush. Because as a pharmacologist, I feel, no, safety, efficacy has to be properly proved.
Yes.
So we were not rushing up, although after 1.5 years have passed, but we are still not doing it because we want a proper approval of the clinical trial which we did. But the unique part is that this virus, it is a RNA virus. Being the RNA virus, it is going to mutate, understood. And there are limitations for the treatment or vaccines also for if the mutation occurs. But the target which it hit, that is the angiotensin converting enzyme 2, ACE2, is important. I have been involved in this research for last 35 years before this. This renin-angiotensin system itself, which was in 1940s for kidney electrolyte balance, 60s it was considered for blood pressure, 80s, 90s it became cardiomyopathy, and by turn of century it was retinopathy also.
Great.
ACE2 was discovered in 2002. And till COVID came, role was not clear, but something regulatory. Now a virus, when it attacks such a system which involved all this entire body, and on the top of this, we found that there's something is happening in the brain, something is happening in the lungs. Nobody knew before that. Now, because of COVID, I am seeing it is unraveled. and nature is great. They provided a drug we got from Aravali Biodiversity, and we got the drug first time in the world like this, that which is directly ACE2 only rather than anything else.
It's effective,
It is effective to us. Not only that, to the post-COVID complications also, and many more things.
So has it been sent to the market as well?
See, because of the Ayush approval, we are not marketing that way.
That's pity that you have developed, you're a premier institution, you have developed a proven, certified medicine, and which is not in the market. So what is the use of that?
No, market means as a food supplement, for other purpose it has been used. But for the COVID, if we use, we have to abide by the rules. And I will not
so you can
force.
request repeatedly that this is important
See, the experts are having their own comments, and we are trying to satisfy. But it will be definitely good if it is little bit faster. Now, of course, the COVID has also subsided. But I am happy even today because this is going to go a long way, because the post-COVID complications will be treated by such drug only.
So your COVID-related research on the drugs and various formulation is still going on?
Yes, we have tied up with the University of Missouri. It is not simply that we did hair experiment something. It was in the University of Missouri they found, and they were blinded. United States.
Okay.
And they were not knowing even that what we have given for testing, and it was proved correct.
Wonderful.
That is something.
So your motto is Udyama Karya Sadhaka, to develop core competence in pharmaceutical sector and contribute in building leaders in all kinds.
Yes.
So what are the challenges you face in achieving this motto, or you still facing?
Well, I will say, I don't think I really faced a big challenge. Only thing, yes, there is some shortcoming because it was a small campus of 10 acres.
Yes.
We want additional land now. With the way in which we are expanding, you have to need additional land in Delhi city like Delhi.
Yeah.
This is one challenge, but it is not a real, it will come through. But another big challenge which is common for most of the educational institutions, it becomes the faculty. Getting the faculty and recruiting them is again a big challenge, because the time you start all that process, the way in which people start complaining this, that, or that is little bit disturbing to any vice chancellor. That you start with the all full effort, and all of a sudden some complaints start coming, this thing and all that. That disturbs.
And the whole process is
And the process stops. I will not blame vice chancellors for, like many posts are vacant. I will blame the people who don't allow this. Okay, you may have questions, you may have criticism, but if you, even before interviews are held, the criticism start, the complaints start, what you will do?
This is true with the other government institutions also. People are, whosoever will not get the chance, they will complain that something fishy is going on, and then the whole appointment process will stop.
To me, this is the real challenge, because without faculty, you cannot do. You can have good buildings, you can have good equipments, but if you don't have that expertise, everything will be obsolete.
But as it is said generally that content is king. When you are running a university, the knowledge which you are disseminating, that is most important.
Yes.
So if we think about how you are going to make it a world-class university, what kind of steps you are taking or planning to take in the future?
Well, world-class university has several other parameters.
Yes.
See, first thing is the very age of the university matters in that also.
Okay.
See, Oxford, if you compare that world top ranking university, they have been pretty old. This is one part. But that is not, you cannot say that a new university cannot become the world class. There are few parameters which are very strict. Number one is if you say one parameter is the infrastructure itself, budget itself. Third is the faculty, and fourth is research. This like faculty and research. Research environment, research funding, I will say Indian government has been doing quite a good. I don't find, because in our time when we were doing research, that much funding was not there as compared to now today. That is for sure.
Thanks to Modi government.
No, it is like, definitely Modi government. The important part is the accountability what they give. Okay. That is very important about the Modi sir. I always like accountability, and Delhi government is also equally supportive.
Good.
But I must thank even our Abdul Kalam for that first.
President.
Who brought the revolution? Real revolution changes started from him. When he was the president, he introduced various programs like Inspire Fellowships and all that, a boost to the research. I think first I will have to give the credit to him for this research part, and definitely it is there. It is increasing, but what has happened is, to me, the challenge of faculty. To on one side,
is there any shortcut? Is there any way to come out of this challenge?
I don't know. Many times I used to debate myself. Say, okay, it is easy to say that we are not being allowed to recruit, and why there are. But
you can take them on ad hoc basis, or maybe.
See, that is what is there. So at least if vice chancellors are given some percentage of freedom for that, like, okay, 5% faculty or 10% faculty will be at your disposal, and they will be tenure based. Let it not be a permanent also. To me, this appears to be one of the solutions to it, because it is difficult at times. See, the rules, regulations are framed by, and education is heavily regulated in India. If I consider
has this problem not been solved in the new education policy? The new framework, the regulations are coming.
The proposal to have only one regulatory agency itself is a good thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I say here, I am regulated by UGC, PCI, AICT, if it is other councils, so all these things. This is one thing.
Yeah.
Then councils should not dictate. See, they should give the guideline. They should not say, no, you cannot have plus minus 5% also. That is wrong. They are trying to give, this should be the exam scheme. No, I am not agreeing. Then what is the fun of having the university autonomy? Where is the autonomy? When you want to dictate that how much percentage and what should be the internal marks and what should be external marks, this is very bad in the professional education. University should be given that freedom.
I'll come back to the NEP question, because we have a couple of questions. The next question would be...
So we have lost almost 2 years because of this COVID-19. There was, from the students to educational institute, every fraternity has been shattered. So how we can overcome this now? How this can be recovered?
See, everything, it brings opportunity also. When I was involved in the framing that in the Gujarat model, we proposed few things, that there should be multidisciplinary approach, cafeteria approach for selection of the subject. Now that was something that, okay, if I am the student of, let us say, science, I want to learn philosophy. How it will be done? It was not possible. So, transdisciplinary approaches. Now with the NEP, this is one of the key features. If somebody asks me what is the real good feature, is the multidisciplinary approach, multi-exit system, core electives, open electives, that is there. But prior to that, the main problem was to have the IT. Like online education which has come, there were several programs of MOOCs or SWAYAM by UGC and AICT. Now they started getting to use. So in a way it is opportunity. But skills cannot be taught online.
Absolutely.
Everything can. You cannot teach how to treat a patient online. So professional education has suffered a lot, including pharmacy also. Certain experiment wherein the practicals are required, that is a big loss. Secondly, in this 2 period, although by and large every state has been instructed not to bypass, not to give, get away with the examination. But still, there was online teaching, but 2 years gap which has occurred, how to bridge that? It's a
That's
big
a big
challenge.
question.
It's a big challenge.
Challenging.
And that too when the NEP implementation has just started 1 year back. So my next question is on the NEP itself, because it has been said that this is going to help the entire Indian education system in enhancing the global competitiveness. Overall, what is your comment about the NEP and its implementation challenges?
Well, implementation was a real problem. When I looked at the first draft, I felt how you are going to implement. Because I remember when in 2008-9 when I gave that report that how should be, what should be the restructuring for the, especially the art, science, commerce. See, professional and all, they are still higher to us. IIT are still valued. Medical education is still valued in all over across the world. But when it comes to simple those arts and commerce courses, without MBA probably it was not again that much valued. It is honestly, I mean, if you see the simple BCom or simple BA, BSc were still in some field it was very good. So these two were something which was kept little bit. And if you see the major number of the percentage of the students, they belong to that 45 to 50%. I remember that figure at that time. Only 10% are in that professional, medical or engineering. Big mass is this. So when we are, this NEP is definitely going to make the difference in that. Attention to school is equally important. But see, there is something like higher education and we say school education. What is the meaning of higher education? Higher education doesn't mean there is something like a word called further education. Okay, you have learned something, you add some extra knowledge. That is a further education. Higher education means having acquired the basic knowledge. That's why primary, secondary and then higher secondary. Having acquired the basic mathematics or in communication or simple science or about environment or social or whatever. Critical thinking, across the table discussions, participative learning.
So do you think, I would like to summarize, do you think the NEP is solving all these challenges? Overall, how do you see?
There is a suggestion. There is definitely it is going to happen.
But still, do you find there is challenge in implementation?
See, challenges will be there. Anything new means it's a challenge.
And how we can overcome these challenges? Any suggestion?
The suggestions are that the awareness among the teachers is the first thing. That yes, what is the real advantage?
The mass awareness.
Mass awareness to the teachers, to the stakeholders, all.
All is
that what is the advantage of this? That is what is important to me. I mean, it has to be done. That is the one challenge. And then where the money should go, that also has to be critically planned by the government. That how to allocate that funds. Third, very important is linking this school education and the higher education. One of the program of Dr. Abdul Kalam I liked was the Inspire
Fellowship.
I mean, to the 10th and 11th student Inspire program. What it means that our university organizes that top students of the Kendriya Vidyalaya, and I have seen various schools coming, those who are in the board above 90%. And the lectures will be given by the either Bhatnagar awardee or distinguished people, and the student will interact. I like that program. I myself conducted few when I was in Gujarat.
Great.
This is something which is required. So at those schools, children should know what is going on. See, unfortunately, like if I say management, when it is taught in school, you tell me.
Never.
Where and when commerce is taught?
There is a great disconnect.
So that, no, but
Something else is being read in the school and something suddenly will come in the
Come in
IIT.
Gap is,
that.
gap is there.
Yes.
don't you feel that like management is required everywhere now?
Absolutely.
Why these concepts are not even initiated in the school level? Why only after 10th one has to study what is commerce?
So this is very unique and very useful idea. If we talk about your university, how NEP you are going to implement or implementing in what is the way of your
See,
implementation?
our university is a professional university. So, and as I told you, we are regulated by PCI, Pharmacy Council of India, through that Physiotherapy, it is a Physiotherapy Council. So, we will influence the councils that please incorporate these changes. Now the changes have also come, the concept of electives have come. We have also given extra credit as per based on this NEP, that extra credit, so credit transfer, very good point in this NEP. Credit transferability, credit bank establishment, we are going to do that. And we have already started that. So that is one part. So that way we are definitely going to do it. Now we started B.Pharm in Ayurveda. So one of the motive is ethics and values, which we are talking about. But to me, ethics and values doesn't mean a simple ethic. You have to greet your parents, subere uske namaste kariye. It is not meant for that. It is not simply chanting of sloks and all that. No. The hidden knowledge which is there in the ancient system has to be brought out. And there is science hidden in the all Veda or Purana and like that.
Very true.
That has to come out. And to me, I try to convey this message that why in schools, in each textbook from 3rd standard or 4th standard, include one chapter, I'm not asking a book or so, one chapter related to science in each standard. Let the student realize that Sanskrit doesn't mean chanting and or something like rituals. It is beyond that. It is a science.
Beyond the religion, beyond
religion and beyond, it is a science, hardcore science. At least give one chapter. That will bring the change more. Yeah, that is what I am trying to say, that part.
Sir, India has different categories of higher education institutes. In your opinion, what should be the main focus areas for the different types of higher education institutes while implementing NEP 2020?
Okay.
Any specific measure you think that Union government should take which will be helpful in accelerating the NEP implementation in the country?
Yes. Now different categories means what? Professional colleges like engineering,
Yes.
pharmacy and medical on one side. If you see NEP, it is relatively silent on all these parts. Whenever we had questions, they said there will be a separate policy. This is what I am told. So if you separate them, then NEP has mainly sciences and the humanities or commerce. If it comes to, I'm talking of the subject, I'm not going by private, public, section 3 or I'm not going in that way, right? Or autonomous colleges, and I'm not discussing that part first. First is the subject wise. Now, if I say a science college and science versus the arts college or commerce, we see a clear difference is there. Previously, like 2 to 3 hours lectures, there are not many lectures. There is hardly anything like practical. They don't understand what is this practical. When I was in MSU, I went to the commerce faculty. I asked them that where is the stock exchange building in your city? And they were not knowing. I said it is just across your street, just not even half a kilometer also. Why you should not know? Have you gone to the bank and seen how the check filing and all that? No. I said, have you seen anything in the share form when you are filling up for the shares and applying? Answer is no. Why these things cannot be incorporated? So that's how this. So this should be this. The objectives of this NEP, multidisciplinary and
Similarly, I have
it
a
has
small
to be
suggestion. When
incorporated.
we are talking about the pharmacy and all kinds of health related medical,
Yes.
whether it's Ayurveda, it's homeopathy or Unani or the English medicine, whatever. So if that is taught in one campus, so the students who are studying Ayurveda, they can go and take the classes of the MBBS also.
Yes.
Let them understand what they're teaching so that they can give the better solution. Similarly, whosoever is attending the MBBA classes, he can come and see how these Ayurveda people are treating the same, disease. So then it will be a different,
But in that case, those councils should not say that how Ayush is coming in our picture when we are a modern medicine, or modern medicine should not, those Ayush people should not say, how come you are coming here?
They're not going to
They're
accept
like,
it.
I was told, why you are isolating a compound? If you are isolating compound, that means it is not Ayurveda. That is wrong.
So the NEP 2020 documents also highlights the linkages of sustainable development, which is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 2030 also. What is your comment on that?
I was just going through that the sustainable development growth this
Aspect
plans.
of
Yes, and they have nicely. I mean, sometimes I feel that probably they have taken some of the components in our NEP,
Okay.
and it's vice versa. So I think this policy, if it is executed in the right spirit, with considering, with understanding these challenges, it will be through.
And how technology is going to play its role in implementing NEP 2020?
Now, I think technology has proven, now it has been proved that technology is going to play the role, these online classes or whatever it may be.
Digital.
But there should be restrictive. It is something like, I still remember a joke that instead of these signals, let us put the police constables only so that you can generate more jobs. Instead of putting the red lights or signals, let only police be there, no technology. But their technology is required. But everywhere technology cannot be there. You need something which is wherever it is possible, manpower is still required.
Sir, how do you see the future of medical and pharma education domain in 2022 and beyond the post-COVID situation?
COVID-19 has in fact changed many things in the world, and especially the pharmaceutical has become a core, area which everybody is looking at the health. They have become, every family, every individual has become health conscious. So naturally, the related education will be.
Yes.
How do you see the future?
Okay. So first thing is that this COVID has definitely brought a good changes in terms of hygiene, cleanliness that is there. Now, with respect to the education part also, the pharma and the industry also, I think you mean to say
Yes,
how the
overall.
medical or industry or the medical device industry will go. I think we have bright future now because in the COVID time, it was very clear that the practice of medicine with respect to diseases, there was a time that people used to consider especially the developed countries, Europe, and who cares about the communicable diseases. They were more concentrating on the non-communicable, diabetes, cardiac, cancer. Now their mindset has changed. No, they have to pay equal attention to communicable diseases. This is the big thing which has come. So the research all across the world will focus even that part, which was relatively less.
So one lesson was also that COVID-19 proved that the medical facility and the infrastructure in the entire world is not sufficient. Even the European countries and America and if we talk about India, it was felt that it is widely inadequate. Do you think there should be, because still we are talking about that we are giving aims to one state and we will start doing this and something like that. So do you think the more focus is needed on the creating the health infrastructure in the country?
Definitely. So I will tell you 2002 incidents I am talking. I will not name any hospital or anything. I am still curious, what are the regulations required for starting a hospital? And compare it, what are the requirements when you have to start a pharma industry? In pharma industry, lakhs of capsules or bottles are there, prepared, sometimes capsules within a day also. Even liquids or aseptic injections, hardly you will find that they are non-sterilized. They are infected also. All the care. Whereas in medical, if surgery has to be done, patient has to start with antibiotics before surgery. That means they are confident that he is going to get infection otherwise. It's a big change. So that itself speaks that how many cares are taken. And are they really there? Okay. During COVID period, oxygen problem which came.
Yes.
Actually, I want to hit that. In 2003, I faced, there were 10 ICU beds in the hospital and only 2 ventilators, or one at that time, out of which only one was working. If another patient need, he has to be declared as died. Allow him to die. This is, so it was not a COVID situation only. The hospitals were not that well equipped. If you say 10, is there any regulatory agency which checks that you have 10 ventilators also? Or at least minimum requirement? I am still curious to know. I may be wrong also. COVID has definitely taught now.
So what is your suggestion for the government overall? What changes they should make? What policy they can bring? What allocation they should make for the health infrastructure?
No, so the increasing number of hospitals, that is all right. Like those which are funded by government, or those are the government hospitals. They never thought all these things at that time.
The government has already decided one thing. They are converting the district hospitals into PPP mode, into a private.
It's a good move, but ensure that these things are not repeated. Like loss of, no ventilator or no short supply of oxygen and all that, they should be adequate.
We are almost at the end of our interview today. I have a different question. We have seen many reports and news articles about an issue which is going on in the southern states about the hijab in the campus, whether they should wear hijab or not. A Muslim should be. So what is your thought on that?
See, our country is we respect all religion. So under those circumstances, it's not good to give the calls like that don't wear hijab or don't wear this. This is my personal feeling. That
this is not a practical.
Yes.
And this should not be the prerogative of any particular educational institution to impose such things.
Yes. One should not do that.
So
we have seen that.
If you have any other suggestion, if you have any other thing which you want to say, which is not covered in our interview.
I think practically you have covered everything. Let me tell you. You started from all the things. But my still feeling is that the last thing which because we are talking about the COVID and loss, the 2 years loss, there has to be some bridge courses or bridge modules to be developed by each institution, wherein they feel that in this 2 years, for example, from first MBBS to third MBBS they have come, for example, or after 1 year. So there is a gap of 1 year. There must have been some limitation for that medical student that he could not be taught certain aspect properly. Maybe some practical. So you need not to impose that all practicals have to be done. No. at least some practicals he has to take as the additional course, which were lost. Like that, like in our pharmacy also, like some students, we have something like formulation, so viscosity and all, we have the physical pharmacy in first year. Now those first year students probably have not properly been exposed to that in the practical, and they have come to third year. Now when they are going to learn? So to revive that, develop those modules so that that gap is lost. This can be the easiest way to recover that loss. This is what, so one should not take it for granted, like what you have taught, it is taken for granted, forget, okay. No, try to revive that. But that will be
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving so much of time to our Indian Observer Post. And we will meet next time with a new personality in our series of Golden Signatures. Till then, thank you so much. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you. Namaskar.